America. The first stop on our American whirlwind tour was Los Angeles. After a 13-hour flight from Sydney, I was feeling pretty messed up. And unfortunately, LAX airport is a pile of absolute shit. There was nowhere for me to get a SIM card, no cash machine, and no help desk. So I was stuck with no way of figuring out how to move myself and all of my stuff up to Hollywood, where my hostel was. There was a subway station nearby the airport, so off I went, and at the first hurdle I was foiled. It turns out that you can't just tap on and off of public transport using a card. So brilliant. Now I was stuck at the subway station with no internet, no cash, and no way of getting on the train. I was about to accept my life as a subway urchin when a train passed overhead and a lifeline popped up on my phone. A wireless connection. All I had to do was sign into the Wi-Fi, get into the App Store, download the app, create an app, link my card, buy a ticket, and then I could finally get on the train. Trains came and went, each one providing me a small window of opportunity to carry out this set of tasks. Eventually, I was done, finally, and on my way at last.
Morning everybody, we made it to America. We're in LA. Got here yesterday, long flight. I was so tired yesterday. I think I slept for like 13 hours last night, just catching up. It's a minus 18-hour difference from where I was yesterday, so yeah, body's a bit fucked because of that, but we're here, we're doing stuff. Today we're walking up to the Hollywood sign and the observatory, Griffith Observatory. They're quite close together. So yeah, we're gonna walk up there and see what that's all about. Probably just look at it and then walk back, you know? Easy. Very much a change in pace since coming from Australia. Here seems, I don't know, seems a lot busier, a lot more going on. I mean, I was staying on Hollywood Boulevard and I turned off one like street straight away, saw all sorts. There was a man passed out on the floor with his dick out, and I saw a man get hit by a car. So yeah, it's been pretty wild in LA, but who knows, shakes things up a bit from safe Australia.
The observatory resides on Mount Hollywood and overlooks all of Los Angeles. The observatory was set up by some rich dude named, I shit you not, Griffith, and opened to the public in 1935. He wanted to make astronomy and space available to all, and it was a really cool place to wander around and find out more about what goes on above our heads. I chilled with Albert, looked at Uranus, and was off again to the Hollywood sign.
Hi. So, we are about a mile and a half from the Hollywood sign. I've seen it from lots of different angles. I think when you actually get up close, you can only see it from behind. So, but we're gonna go there, and then we're gonna start heading back down there. Looks pretty far away from up here.
The walk from the observatory was a nice one, with views overlooking LA in the hot California sun. And I wasn't the only one enjoying it, with plenty of others making the hike to the famous signage. I even passed a group on horseback making a trek around the Hollywood Hills, which was pretty cool to see. I finally reached a viewing point I was happy with, did the normal touristy stuff like taking photos with the sign, and did the abnormal touristy stuff like dancing in front of the sign, and I was on my way back, through Beverly Hills, down Hollywood Boulevard to my hostel. The next day, I headed down to the famous Santa Monica Pier. This pier juts out into the Pacific Ocean and is famous for its amusements, fishing and views of the sea, and the long beaches stretching up and down the coastline. The aim of today was to explore the pier and try to surf at one of the beaches if possible.
Fuck, it's bright.
For a Sunday, it was still pretty busy, bustling with people trying out the arcades and watching the pop-up dance shows that seemed to be everywhere in touristy parts of America. I got to a good point to check out the waves, and there were basically none. So I quickly gave up on the idea of going for a surf and instead walked down Venice Beach. And it was still really nice, with the sun starting to set over the Pacific, giving some amazing lighting to my afternoon. When I was done walking around on the beach, I headed back to the hostel, only to find a Christmas parade taking place right outside the door. Now I must admit, children breakdancing in front of an inflatable Betty Boop didn't exactly make me feel Christmassy, but I did learn something about the people of America. You guys will cheer for anything. Before I left LA, there were a few more things I had to do. First on that list was the Academy Awards Museum. LA is synonymous with film, and where better to learn more than a museum dedicated to the greats? It turns out my film knowledge ain't all that hot, but it was still cool to go around and see some costumes, read about films I hadn't watched, and listening to recordings of people I didn't know about. There was one exhibit where I had more luck and prominently featured a mythical green ogre who is now a household name. Did you know Shrek originally had hair? I am very glad they changed that. Next up was the Brea Tar Pits. Now I had learned about these in my geology lectures, a site of exceptional preservation where mammoths, saber-tooths and other quaternary beasts have become entrapped in tar and preserved to great detail. Hundreds of thousands of specimens have been collected since 1913, including these direwolf skulls which have been arranged into this incredibly badass wall in the museum. They are still actively excavating the area and finding more discoveries, including this massive sinkhole which opened up and swallowed a whole bunch of people and transported them to a primeval land. Yes, this definitely happened. So that wraps up what I got up to in LA. It was a really interesting first stop on my tour of America, and it was definitely eye-opening coming from Australia. But I definitely recommend the walk up to the Hollywood sign on a nice day. If you do it, make sure you stop by the observatory and say hi to my friend Albert on the way.